Hey Stampers, it's Brandy here, and I am so excited to share with you this new project that I've been making. These handmade gift-giving idea, these glass plates. Oh my goodness, they're so much fun. Yes, I know, we're not making cards today, but if you stick with me to the end of this video, I have got handmade cards that coordinate with my plates. So I'm super excited to show you. We're gonna take some fabric, yeah, see this beautiful fabric, and we're going to use Mod Podge. That's right, so we're going to use Mod Podge on a glass plate, adhere our fabric for this beautiful gift-giving plate. And it is dishwasher safe. Now, when I say it's dishwasher safe, it's not for the bottom of the dishwasher, but it's for that top rack, as once you put enough coats on it and you let it cure. But we're going to talk all about that. I'm so excited. Now, what can you put on your plate? I don't know. What do you guys make? Some homemade cookies, maybe some fudge. Maybe it's just a beautiful decorative piece in the middle of your Thanksgiving or holiday table. So just a lot of fun. I'm so excited to show you how I created this project. So let's talk a little bit about this fantastic product called Mod Podge. So here, let me show it to you under the camera. So what I'm using is dishwasher safe. So this one is dishwasher safe. It's got a really nice gloss to it. So I'm just going to bring in, this is just a kind of a little something I put together to share with you about the mod. Actually, this is not the right one. This is the other one. Hang tight. So let me bring in the correct one. Here we go. So what is Mod Podge? So Mod Podge, it's an adhesive. It's ideal for attaching various materials, including paper, fabric, wood, and more, to a wide range of surfaces, including glass, like we're going to use today. Now, it's a sealer. Okay, so it provides that protective, durable seal over your project. So it's going to safeguard it from wear and tear, of course, that moisture and environmental factors. And in this case, it will be a dishwasher safe version. Now, it does come in all kinds of different finishes, from your matte finish to your gloss and so forth. I've seen glitter as well. And it is very versatile. Not only is it versatile, but it is perfectly easy to use. So if you've never used this, you will love it and you will want some right away, I promise you. So it's very easy to use. It is non-toxic, so it is water-based, non-toxic, so that is a good thing as well. And it is available in just a lot of varieties. Today we're using dishwasher safe, but they have an outdoor version and some of the others. So yeah, so today we're going to focus on the dishwasher safe. Now you're probably thinking, okay, Brandy, that is a lot of information. Not to worry, I have you covered. So you're going to want to go to my blog at BrandysCards.com, and I'm going to show you really quickly. This is the front of my blog, and you're going to click blog right here in the navigational bar, and then you're going to come down to the blog post, and here is all of the information on how to create these beautiful plates. And there's a sneak peek of the plates I'm excited to show you. Your key features of Mod Podge are right here, so you can see that. And that's just kind of what I just shared with you. And then we're going to talk about some of the other tips for this as well throughout my demonstration. And then I have step-by-step, 9 step-by-step pictures for you. So you can pull this up and have a look and do your plate from this tutorial if you're a visual person and like to see it that way. And then I went ahead and created a PDF tutorial that you can click on, and you can download a PDF tutorial that you can put in your idea and inspiration book. Okay, so without further ado, are you ready to jump in and get crafting and to create one of these fantastic plates? I hope so. It's a lot of fun, and I think it will be a beautiful gifting idea throughout the holidays. So what are you going to need? Well, you're going to need some of the Mod Podge, the dishwasher safe. And I also have picked a fabric. You can pick any fabric of your choice. It is a cotton fabric. And I've cut it to about 12 by 12. So that's about the size that I've cut the fabric to. Now you're going to need a glass plate. So just a glass plate. And you're probably like, well, where do you find a glass plate like that? So let me tell you that I have found these glass plates at Dollar Tree, $1.25 a plate. Oh my gosh, right? So if you live around me, don't go to the Dollar Trees within my area because you probably aren't going to find any glass plates. I have bought a lot of them, but they're so, so great. They're fantastic. They're inexpensive. So that's really, really great. So that's what you're going to need. You're also going to need one of these soft bristle brushes. This actually is a Mod Podge product as well. It's a soft bristle brush. You're also going to want to have some warm soapy water that you can put the brush in when you're finished. So that's really important. It is a water-based product, so it does clean off, but you don't want that to dry on your bristles because you won't be able to use it again. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. I'm just going to put down a piece of paper towel. And if you don't like ooey gooey and that kind of bothers you, you might just pull yourself some rubber gloves. I don't mind it, but if it does bother you, I just wanted to kind of point that out. So to get started, the first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to wash your hands with warm soap and water, as well as your plate. You're going to want to make sure that all the residue, any oils from your hands, that the plate is very clean. And the reason is you want it to bond really well with your Mod Podge, okay? And so you're going to want that really clean. Now, another thing that they talk about to kind of clean the surface of oils and things is just using some rubbing alcohol. And so I have a cotton swab here, and I'm just going to put a little bit of rubbing alcohol on my cotton swab, and I'm going to rub it along the bottom. Now, while I'm doing this, I just want to let you know that we are going to keep the Mod Podge on the bottom of the plate. All right, so it is non-toxic, but it has not been approved by the FDA to be safe for food, right? So we're going to add the fabric to the bottom of the plate. You'll see the beautiful design on the other side, but we are not going to get any of the Mod Podge on the front of the plate. Okay, so once you do that, we just need to make sure it's good and clean. And I'm just going to take the paper towel and just kind of dry it off, just like that. Okay, so now it's going to be time to put the Mod Podge. You know what? I'm going to tell you right now, and you guys are going to laugh at me. It's called Mod Podge, right? So, but I like to call it Mod Podge. And so if I call it that for another couple times, I do know the name of it, and I apologize. It's kind of one of those things where it's kind of it's a habit. But at any rate, you're going to take it, and it does say you're not supposed to like shake it. It says to mix it up and roll it on your table. So I've actually done this before we started the video to make sure it was good and mixed up. So you're going to want to do that. And then what you're going to do is you're going to open it up, and I've just got a styrofoam bowl here, and I'm just going to add some of the Mod Podge in there. And I'm going to set that aside, and then I have my soft bristle brush as well. I'm going to pick up my plate again. All right, here we go. I'm going to just, what I found, and make sure you pull up your sleeves, right? We don't want anything on our clothes, okay? So pull up your sleeves. And what you're going to do is you are going to cover this surface with a thin layer of the Mod Podge, okay? So here we go. We're going to add some. And you're seeing that I'm just kind of, picking it up with my bristle brush and working my way around my plate. Now you want to get all the way out to the edge, yes, because we want it to adhere, right, all the way to the edge, because you want to be able to, you don't want any liquid or water or anything like that to be able to seep up under the fabric, right? Because that, that is one thing, is it is dishwasher safe. But it does say that it takes 28 days to cure. So there is a difference between drying and curing. So drying is when you put an application on and it's dry to the touch. Curing is the process where it takes 28 days for it to harden after you've done all of your coats. It takes 28 days for it to harden and to seal properly so that the product is basically at its best performance for you. So that is really good to know, that it does take a bit of time, okay? And you don't want, you don't want any globs or anything like that. So just look for that. Just make sure that it's nice and a nice, good even coat. Okay, so let's go ahead. We've got our fabric. I'm going to come back over here to under my camera, and I'm going to set my plate down on my, my paper towel. Now remember, it's the pretty side of the fabric that's down because we want to be able to see that on the other side of the plate. So I'm just going to carefully lay this down. Now, you don't want to go like this and squish all of, because if you push really hard and you go like this, you're going to squish all of the Mod Podge to come out, right? You don't want to do that. So you're just going to very carefully kind of push it down. It's actually going to feel sort of wet, a little bit wet and tacky as you push it down with your hands. So again, if you don't like that feeling or, that bothers you, you might want to have the rubber gloves on. But as you can see, I'm just trying to push it down, push out any bubbles if I see them. And while we're here kind of doing this, you can see that this piece is too big. And one of the reasons that I just kind of stuck with 12 by 12 is I did an in-person event. And, and some of the ladies tried to cut the fabric more to size. And what happened is this plate is like a mountain right here, and then it goes down. So they didn't compensate for the space, that it was the extra fabric to cover this portion. So we ended up not having enough, the fabric wasn't then big enough. So generally what I do is I just go ahead, do the 12 by 12, and then I take my paper snips. Actually, these aren't paper snips. These are kind of a heavy duty, a scissor, yeah, and really good with fabric. And so I just kind of cut around my plate. Now I cut around my plate so that it would be about 1/2 inch away from the plate. And I will show you here in a second why. Because if you leave all of that extra fabric, well, that gets heavy on your project. And then it will pull on your project. And when I mean pull on it, it'll kind of pull it away from the plate because it's heavy. And then you'll have kind of a gap, and that's not what we want, okay? So I'm just gonna turn this here and make sure you can still see, and I'm just still cutting around my plate here and kind of getting that closer to the edge of the plate. Perfect. Looks like I cut some paper towel too. Okay, so here we go. I'm gonna pull that up and make sure my hand is clean, and you can kind of see now that I've got it all on here. And so just kind of pull out any of the creases or wrinkles that you might have. Now, what you can do is if you feel confident in, kind of how the plate's looking, you can kind of see the milkiness. Do you see kind of the milky look right in here and around here? That's because it's wet in there. So I wouldn't worry about that. It's wet. And when it dries clear. So you don't really have to worry about that. Now there's a couple different things you can do. If you feel confident that you can cut the edge of it now even better, you certainly can do that. I do have one over here that I've already added another layer of adhesive. So this one has already got another layer of adhesive, and I generally will then go in and cut this edge. But you can do it either way. And what I mean by that is you're just going to take your snips and you're going to go around the edge of your plate and just cut off that extra fabric. See, remember when I talked about if you left all of that fabric, it would pull it down away from the plate. And then of course, it wouldn't be adhered or sealed very well right there. So here we go. We're just going to kind of finish this up and cut this off around the plate. You can see it's super easy because I'm using the plate as my guide, just like that. Okay, Perfect. All right, so let's get that out of the way. And so now you can see that I have trimmed my plate. So in that instance, that had one coat on it already. This one has only been, has only been sealed to the plate itself, okay? And so again, I kind of like to do it after it's already been sealed, but you could certainly do it now if you feel that it's good and stuck up to your plate. So there's just a couple different ways that you can do it. And I always think it's good to show you both ways so that you can determine, what works best for you. All right, so, and I would recommend you buy at least a couple of plates so that you can kind of have a practice round, and then you can have, some others that you make for gifts. Okay, so let's go ahead and finish this one off. And again, this is the one that we just put the Mod Podge on, okay? So I'm just trying to be careful and make sure that it's up close to the plate. All right, perfect. All righty, so we're gonna flip it back over. And what we're gonna do now is we're gonna bring back in the dishwasher safe Mod Podge. And I'm just gonna make sure my hands are clean and that I don't have any residue on there. Of course, I have, I've got hand sanitizer over here. I've also got some warm soapy water in case I do have something on my hands. And so the next thing you're gonna do is you are gonna add the product, a thin layer of the product right here to the top. And I think I'll step over here so that you can see me. Now I have dumped it on here before, but you gotta be careful doing that because if you get a big old glob, you're gonna be like, oh! Yes, you don't really want that. But I find it's just easier if you just hold the plate just like this and just kind of adhere it on here. The hardest part is just chasing, this little bowl around. And you just want a really good coat all along your plate. It's a really good coat of liquid. And you also want to kind of brush it, make sure that you're getting a good solid coverage all the way out to the edges. You can take a paper towel and kind of wipe all around the edges as well if you want to make sure that you didn't get any on the front of the plate. Very important, we don't get it on the front of the plate. Yep, so we don't want it on the front, just here on the back to seal our fabric. Okay, so we're going to end up doing 2 to 3 coats. I recommend 3 coats. That's what I've done on all of mine, and they've held up very, very well. So I would say 2 to 3 coats. Now, it takes 1 hour to 2 hours to dry in between coats. So again, dry means dry to the touch, okay? And so you can set that aside and let that dry. Now let me show you what can happen if it's not perfectly sealed. So I'm going to set that down, and I'm going to show you this plate here. So this is a plate that I created earlier, and just as we were talking, and it hasn't completely sealed down. Do you see that? So it's all still kind of, it is sealed perfectly back here, but not on the edges. So if I were to put that in the dishwasher on that top rack, or maybe even get it wet, that would not be sealed and it could pull back on me, right? So what we're gonna do is we are going to, let's put some more of our Mod Podge here. There we go. And I'm gonna take my little brush, because this one actually only has a coat or 2 even on it. And I'm just going to add a bit more right inside the edge here, okay? So I'm just gonna add a bit more inside the edge. And I'm gonna work my way around the plate in this way, okay? And I'm just gonna kind of use my bristles very carefully to, to kind of get my liquid in underneath there. Now, what we're also gonna do is we're gonna take and wipe off the edge of our plate as well, okay? So I'm just kind of getting that liquid in there, and we're gonna wipe off the edge of the plate so that, it's not on the top of the plate, it's exactly where it's supposed to be. Okay, so you're gonna work your way around your plate in this manner and make sure you get it good and sealed, okay? So let's see, I think we're just about there. There's a little bit more here, okay? So then once you do that, you can take a paper towel or maybe your little swab, cotton swab, and just make sure that you don't have any of the Mod Podge on the top of the plate, that it's only along that edge, okay? And so just kind of use the bottom of the plate and hold it. Perfect, and I think mine's good. All right, so now I'm gonna flip it over here and we're gonna add another coat, okay? So this is actually the first one that I showed you a coat on that one. That one's actually sitting up here above my camera stand. So this is the one that we just fixed. So let's go ahead and just do a coat, a second coat on that one. And now that I've sealed it underneath, I'm just gonna push that, I'm gonna push the Mod Podge and push that fabric down. I might have to do that a couple more times and just make sure that it's getting good and sealed, okay? So I'm just kind of moving my way through just like this. And you don't want any big globs, no big globby glues, you know. You just want to kind of keep it a nice thin layer of the sealer or the Mod Podge, okay? All right, so now here, I like to kind of use my finger and just kind of push these little places down that I want to make sure. And again, like I said, you might even go 30 minutes from now or something like that and just kind of push it down just to kind of make sure that it's drying and it's adhering to your plate like you want it to, okay? Now, if your scissors aren't sharp and aren't really good, they don't work well for fabric, you might get some fraying, so you might want to make sure that you have a good scissor that you're using to cut your fabric, okay? All right, so this looks really good. I'm quite pleased with how that turned out. And I'm just gonna kind of make sure that I don't have any lines. Now this does dry clear and it will be kind of a glossy finish, okay? So I'm gonna set that down here on my paper towel because we're gonna have to let that dry 1 to 2 hours, dry to the touch, okay, before I put on another coat. All right, so I'm going to set this aside. I'm going to put the lid on my Mod Podge. Very important. If you don't, it says right on the bottle that you must do that, otherwise you're going to have a dry bottle. Okay, and then with your brushes, the same sort of thing. I have some warm soapy water over here on my desk, and I'm just going to set the brush in the warm soapy water to let it soak for a second. It is water-based, so it does clean just fine. It also cleans off your hands as well, so not to worry about that. Okay, so let's talk about a couple of things here with your plate. So we talked about you've got to have 2 or 3 coats. We've talked about you've got to seal those edges, right? So is the Mod Podge it's dishwasher safe, but it's that top shelf of the dishwasher, right? But I don't want you to get hung up on that because really it's a handmade gift and you can just wash it with mild soap and water in the sink as well, okay? So that's important to know. Is it microwavable safe? Negative. It's not supposed to be in the microwave. This is a handmade decorative piece. It's not supposed to be put in the microwave, all right? And how many days does it have to cure before you can wash it? So 28 days is what the product says, that not 10, not 15, not 20, but 28 full days so that the product works at its peak performance. So after 28 days, it will be, hopefully it will be cured enough and perfect that you can wash it and get it wet and it'll be perfectly fine. What else do I want to share? So let's say you put it in the dishwasher and it's ruined. Okay, or you wash it. So a couple different things can happen is if you have any residue or oils on your hands and you get it on the plate before you put the Mod Podge down, it can stop it from adhering perfectly, those oils and things. So make sure you wash the plate, soap and water, mild soap and water, as well as maybe the rubbing alcohol to make sure that you've got all of that residue off. Now, if you don't put enough coats on, if you don't let it sit long enough, that sort of thing, okay? So just a few things that in the event that it doesn't work great that you can kind of pay more attention to on your next plate. And again, it says on here that, that it is a water-based, non-toxic product, but it has not been approved by the FDA for food safety. So let's keep it all on the bottom, right, to seal our beautiful fabric, and we'll have all of our yummies and good stuff on the top. Okay, I could even see a beautiful plant sitting right here. This is a 10-inch plate, so you could actually get a 7-inch plate, which I have one right here. Dollar Tree sells these as well, and you could decorate a plate that size for like maybe one of your pots or flowers or something like that. So just really, really pretty, really pretty. Okay, and where can you purchase this product? You can get it at Amazon or any, big box craft store. So it's pretty easy to find. All right, so I'm going to show you some other ideas that I have and some other fabrics. And if you are enjoying this, please be sure to like and subscribe. I have had so much fun making these plates, and I just was so excited to share them with you. I think before I move on though, I just looked over here and I saw a couple of my oops plates. So I want to show you those really quick. Okay, so here's one of my plates that was a learning. And so here is, this one also uses a fabric. And this one, here I'm just going to kind of pull that out a little bit. Now this particular plate, we got the Mod Podge up here on the plate itself, and you can see that the fabric kind of adhered to the top of the plate, and it's not very attractive, is it? So we want to just, be aware of that and try not to get that fabric up on the top edge of that plate. Okay, so just something to think about there. And then I also want to show you, well, let me show you the fabric and then I'll show you the plate. So check out this beautiful fabric. So this is a beautiful holiday fabric, right? It's got golds in it and some whites. It's just absolutely gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. So let me show you the plate that I created with that. And so here's the plate that I did with this fabric. Just lovely. Oh my goodness. And the one thing I think is really cool is like the sparkles and stuff still show up. There's like a gold foiling in there, and you can still see that through the plate. Now, these plates are $1.25 at Dollar Tree. So sometimes as you're shopping for them, you may find imperfections in the plate. Do you see that? So that's glass is what that is. And so when you're shopping for these plates, you might watch. If you don't like that type of, an imperfection in the plate, you might just watch for that, okay? I did not see that, and I realized that when I was working on it and it wasn't even, and it was like, what in the world? And that's what that was. So it was just an imperfection in the plate. Okay. Alrighty, so let me show you another beautiful fabric. So this fabric, maybe you want to do a beautiful red. So here's a beautiful red fabric. This one has some really pretty silver snowflakes on it. So again, another great fabric for the holidays. And so this one looks like this. Ooh, that's so pretty. The cookie exchanges that you have during the holidays, I could see that being a really pretty plate to have your cookies or fudge or something like that on. So really, really pretty. Let me show you the back. So that's what the back looks like. Okay. And so there's been a couple of questions, is it rough on the back? Well, it's not perfectly smooth. So on the instructions, it does say you can take a sandpaper and sand it down if you want to. I really don't mind it. I don't spend a whole lot of time here on the back of the plate, so it doesn't bother me, and I haven't done that, but that's entirely up to you. So that is my red plate. Let me show you another couple plates that I have here. Maybe you're thinking pumpkins and Thanksgiving and harvest and that sort of thing. So check out this under the camera. So this one has some beautiful like little shimmer throughout this fabric. Absolutely gorgeous. And so this one, Oh, you're gonna love this one. Look at this. Oh my goodness, it's so pretty. So pretty. These pumpkins on here. And like I said, you can totally see the shimmer, the glitter little sparkles in this plate. It's absolutely beautiful. This is what the back looks like. You can kind of see it's a clear glaze that's on there with this Mod Podge. Okay, so real nice. And that again is the front of my plate. So nice and so beautiful. Okay, so how about another one? So this one was really fun. This one was that kind of vintage, kind of traditional, you know, kind of really fun, little different pattern and things on there. I just thought it was really cool. Kind of reminded me of a postcard. So here's the fabric, and let me show you how awesome it looks on a plate. So here you go. Let me set that aside, and I'll show you how awesome it looks on the plate. Oh, I can hear you guys now saying, oh my gosh, I love that one too. It's so hard to pick, isn't it? There's so many beautiful prints, and the fabric just looks fantastic. So this is what the back looks like of that one. And you can kind of see as I move it, kind of that gloss sheen to it, right? And there's the front. Really, really pretty. I'm super excited. I've got cards to share with you that match all of the plates, okay? Well, not all of them, but most of them. All right, I have one more to show you, and then I'm going to share with you the cards. All right, so here is, maybe lemons are your thing, and you're thinking spring. Maybe you're thinking a bridal shower, or maybe something for your kitchen, or a little tea party, anything like that. But these lemons are amazing as well. I love the little lavender flowers with them. So I decided to do lemons on a plate. Yeah, look at that. Isn't that fun? So the lemons are also just kind of a neat, you know, a neat pattern as well that you can put on your plate. Well, the sky's the limit, of course, and your fabric stores have so many different prints and colors and that sort of thing. So, you know what, and I feel pretty certain, you know, stamping and handmade cards, it goes pretty hand in hand with quilting and sewing and all of those other things that we all love to do. So I feel pretty certain y'all have some fabric that you can start playing with right away. Okay, so before I go, I have got some cards for you, but if you haven't done so already, please be sure to like and subscribe. And don't forget, if you are like, okay, what was the steps and how do I do this? Go to BrandysCards.com on that blog post and print off your PDF and make sure to look at that blog post and you will be good to go, I promise. Okay, so let me show you the cards that I have. And I also have one more thing to share. So when you take, let's see if I have a 12 by 12 piece of designer series paper. I'm just going to pull one off of my wall. Okay, this is what's called going rogue, because I know this is a question that's going to come up. So when you have a glass plate, and I'll come back over to my camera, you know, you can use Mod Podge for paper, right? But the problem is that you get these weird kinks, right? The paper doesn't go down perfectly and it gets kind of weird and kinked and folded. So it doesn't work as well. However, you could certainly use a, what do I want to say? You could certainly use a napkin. Napkins are more flexible, and I know that I have one here. I just have to find it. Napkins are more flexible, and so they will kind of mend or mold to the shape of the plate. So here is one that I found at a local Marshall's, okay? And so here's one of the napkins I found, and I thought, gosh, what I loved about it is this would be the center of my plate, and then the flowers would kind of come in. So I thought that was fantastic, but what ended up happening is this napkin was pretty thin. And so here is the plate that I did with that napkin. You can see my hand through the plate, although my hand's not going to be carrying it, and there should be food on it. So maybe it works, right? But this is what it looks like on the back. It almost looks like kind of that crackled stained glass sort of look, but that was just adhering the napkin to the plate. So that is another fun thing that you could play with as well, okay? So just really cool, lots of fun. Gosh, and you can just get so creative, so creative. Okay, so let's move on and let's have a look at some of our cards, okay? So I'm excited to show you this. So let's start out with our pumpkins. So let's say you have your pumpkin plate. You could, now this card is not done, but it is adorable. Yes, this fabric, this is the same fabric that's on your plate, and I have put it on my card. So before I show you all these cards, I want to let you know that I will have a video coming soon for you, and I'm going to show you how to adhere the fabric to your cards. And I've got another pack I'm going to show you how to do, and hopefully that could be another gift giving idea for you. So here, let's look at this. So this coordinates with this plate, just a lot of fun, right? And it's on a black card base with, it's just got some a white trim around it. So let's look at another one. Many of you, I think, really liked this plate, didn't you? So check out this one. This one, you know, you could wrap a ribbon around it. You could do an image in the center. I left it simple for right now. But again, I could write a handmade note when I give my gift with some cookies and that sort of thing. Okay, so that's another fun one. And then let me show you, I've got a couple more here. Oh, check this one out. This one, I actually put a layer of red underneath there to kind of pop the red out of that fabric as well. So that's kind of cool, just another look. I like them both actually. So let's set that one aside and let's see what else I have over here. Oh my goodness, I have had way too much fun making all this stuff. All right, so here's another, oh yeah, I didn't show you this one yet, did I? Oh my goodness, yeah, we got to show you this one. All right, so this is the plate that I showed you we were making earlier. And check out this, here is one of those cards, and again, this is fabric. And then you can also put the fabric on your envelope flap, and I'm going to show you how to do that in that video. So definitely watch for that to come. So there's another beautiful, you know, coordinated gift idea. And here is another one. I love this one. The Autumn Leaves bundle with Stampin' Up! Has got some really fun leaves in there. This is fabric, and I just thought it was fantastic. I love the reds, you know, kind of the maple type leaves. And so what I ended up doing was doing a combination of stamping and the fabric. And so here is, you know, kind of a box idea. This is the lid, and when you flip it over, you can write your message. We'll be doing that later. And then this is one of those pieces from the fabric. Now, the cool thing is these cards are going to be different. They're all going to be unique and different because it just depends on which way you cut the fabric, right? So they're all going to be different, all of them. So just really a lot of fun and just a neat gift giving idea. All right, the last one I'm going to show you is probably one of my favorite fabrics that I've had so far, although I really like the bee one that I demonstrated with you. But check out this beautiful fabric. The colors are amazing. Oh my gosh, amazing. So in this particular card, I wanted to also play to the colors. And so I added the fabric to the card, you can see, and then I used the markers to color on my stamp so that I could pull out the various colors out of the fabric. And I thought it just turned out absolutely lovely, lovely, lovely. And then of course I've got my envelope flap here to coordinate. So, okay, so there you go. I hope that you enjoyed all of these projects, and I hope that you give this a try. It's a great, You know, it's a great handmade gift. Adding that fabric to the plate, it's something fun that you can talk about, that you can share, that you made that plate for somebody special. And you could feel, you know, you could put a bunch of goodies on there. I love chocolate chip cookies. Those are my favorite. So I could see a plate of those with some chocolate chip cookies on there, fudge or anything like that. Remember, you're going to be at different gatherings and different parties. That would be a beautiful way to present you know, what you're bringing to that party or gifting to somebody. And we're going to follow it up with those handmade cards. So I promise you, watch for that video. It's yet to come, and it is going to be so much fun. We're going to add fabric to cards, and you can get super creative with that too. So thank you so much for joining me today. If you're a BrandysCards customer, thank you so much. I'm so grateful for you, and I'm so glad that you are here. And if you're new to BrandysCards, welcome to the party. We like to have lots of fun here, and we do lots of crafting and stamping, card making, and all those fun things. So we're glad that you are here with us, and we hope that you like and subscribe and continue on this journey. So thank you, everybody, and take care. Bye, everyone.